Hello, it's Teacher Jaquita here. Many times parents write, email, come up to me and ask me, am I being too demanding when it comes to my expectations of my child's writing? And I always tell them no and yes. There is nothing wrong with wanting your child to write on level. When we have high expectations, it helps students grow. It helps them better academically all around. And there's nothing wrong with wanting your kids to be able to write on level. However, I say yes because if you do not give your kids the proper support, the proper tools, you're leaving them stranded. They get frustrated, they get overwhelmed, they get high anxiety because they don't have the proper tools to be able to meet these requirements. That's like, asking someone to build a house without a hammer and nails. So in my writing classes, I definitely do teach them how to write so that they're better able to meet those demands. Let's look at an example. A lot of times we give writing prompts. As parents, as teachers, we want to be fun. We want to give our students fun writing prompts. So here's one that I enjoy a whole lot. One morning you wake up and realize your pet or the neighborhood squirrel just said good morning, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Soon you find out all animals can talk. Write a story about your first day in this new world where animals have a lot to say. Fun topic, okay? Very fun topic. It's more than likely going to get your kid writing. But then when a student turns in something like this morning I woke up and my cat was sitting on my pillow and she said, good morning. I hope you filled my food bowl because I'm very hungry and I almost screamed because cats are not supposed to talk, but she just kept talking on about how the birds outside were singing off key and squirrels were stealing her acorns, which was strange because cats do not even eat acorns. Finally, I paused. And when I looked out the window, there was a squirrel yelling at a bull jay, and the blue jay was saying, you have no manners. And the squirrel was saying, you took my worm, which was also weird because squirrels do not eat worms. And the story continues until we get to the end. Now, of course, this writing needs some adjustments. And sometimes parents can be overwhelming. You see this, and the first thing you notice are all of the mistakes. And now you're frustrated, your child's frustrated, and writing is no longer fun. Writing is not something that we enjoy. Now the child thinks that writing is something that they're bad at. And when kids take my courses, I fix this thinking, okay? I'm going to give you a few tips to help your writer become more confident. Number one, teach them about brainstorming first. A lot of times we give kids a writing prompt and we just want them to go. And we can't do that. We run into our kids putting all types of details inside of their writing. Some details are relevant, some details are interesting, some are off topic, some could have been left out. So the first thing that I do is I teach my kids the concept of brainstorming, okay? Now, the second thing that I do is I teach them to organize those thoughts that they brainstorm because every idea that we brainstorm does not necessarily belong. So we do a process where we kind of separate our best ideas that we want to put in our writing, and then we X out the wrong ideas. Now, the third tip that I'm going to give as a parent, it's very important for you to give positive feedback first, okay? Positive feedback first. I don't care how atrocious you may think that that writing is. There are great things inside of that piece of writing, and your learner needs to know that, okay? When we do not do that, we are diminishing their confidence, okay? We're diminishing their confidence. And then in the next writing assignment, they're so confused because they didn't get any good feedback. They might do the things that they were doing well terribly the next time. And now, as a parent or a teacher, you're wondering, oh my goodness, goodness, the student's writing keeps declining and declining. What am I doing wrong? So I do always start with the positives first. There has to be something positive in that piece of writing, and I find it. Hey, you put in some great details. I loved it, right? You did a great job having a beginning, a middle, and a complete end. You did it. Oh, you were so creative when you thought about the squirrels and the cats talking and the argument that they had over food that those animals don't eat. That was creative. Keep that up. Use that creativity. So now our student is on a high. They're like, yeah, I did this right, I did that right, I did this right. Now, as a teacher, yes, we are going to address the areas of opportunity, okay? So my fourth tip is I don't care if your student did 30 things wrong inside of that writing assignment. It is unreasonable to expect them to be able to resolve all 30 of those mistakes at one time, in 1 week, in 1 month, even. So, what I do is I give my learners something to work on as it relates to the structure of their writing. So, in that example that I showed you, hey, let's focus on eliminating run on sentences. So, we do activities, identifying run on sentences, correcting run on sentences. That's our focus. Every learner learns at a different pace. Maybe it takes us a week to practice run on sentences, and now, my writer is fine. There's no more run on sentences. Maybe it takes us a month or two, but let's concentrate on that first. So not only do we have the great things that they've done already, we're getting this structural weakness better. I always give them a revision tip. So there might have been lots of things I would have preferred to be revised, but maybe for this particular assignment, creative writing, we focus on sensory details. How can you bring your writing to life by adding in details that appeal to as many of the five senses as you can, or it's needed in your story? So again, we do little activities, we make them fun, we can make them challenging, but we start incorporating sensory details. So now your writer, along with all those great things they're already doing, we're eliminating those run-on sentences, we're adding sensory details to our writing. You're getting happier because your student is writing better, your writer is feeling more accomplished. And then I always add on an editing tip. So perhaps we work on capitalization. In that writing example, there were a few errors with capitalization. So let's do review games with capitalization. The starts of every sentence. I and all its contractions. Let's remind our readers of proper nouns. So again, after focusing on just a few things and mastering those, your writer is going to be more receptible to your feedback. They're going to feel more confident. And when it's the next writing assignment, well, we have some things that we know we do well. So we're going to do that well. We have some skills that we were practicing on last time. We've done so much better. Awesome. And then when I get my new assignment, even if there are mistakes, I know that my teacher, my parent, they're going to continue to comment on the things I do well so I can make those stronger. And then I know I'm going to have some bite-sized areas of opportunity to work on for the next week, 2 weeks, or month, right? And that is how my system works. Step by step, we get better. If you found this helpful, please save the video. Follow me. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, of course, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.